welcome to class and welcome to a new trimester. We'll be beginning right from our very first exercise, and in this exercise we'll be working with the concepts of addition, subtraction, division and multiplication. Okay, let's start ticking now. Here's our very first example. I want you to study this sample very well. You can see 260,300. So how was this number gotten? What is the code behind these numbers? Okay, let's start with this. Now, assuming 60,000 was not given, how can we get our 60,000? This is simple. It's simply 200 times 300. That is, to get our 60,000, you do 200 times 300. That will give you your 60,000. That was how it was gotten. Now, assuming 300 was not given, how will you get your 300? It is also simple. What you do is 60,000 divided by 200. 60,000 divided by 200 will give you 300. The same thing applies. Assuming 200 was not given, we do the same thing. That is 60,000 divided by 300. So that is the code behind this sample. Okay, alright, let's go over to our second example. This is Roman numeral. Alright, let's work with the middle one. You can see. Okay, let's work with this. And before you can proceed, you have to know the value of what this Roman numeral stands for. What is SVI? What is VII? And what is IX? Okay, SVI is what? Is 16. VII is 7. And IX is 9. Good. So now that I know the value, so what is the code behind these numbers? Assuming SVI was not given, which is 16. Assuming SVI was not given, how can you get your SVI? It's simple. Alright. Assuming 16 was not given, what do? Let's go over to our board. To get 16 is simply 9 plus 7. That is what? 16. 9 plus 7. So therefore, to get 16, which is SVI, you do 9 plus 7. In other words, that is IX plus VII equals to SVI. As simple as that. Okay, assuming 7 was not given, how do you get your 7? Assuming this 7 was not given, how do you get your 7? What you simply do is 16 minus 9. will give you your 7. The same thing, assuming 9 was not given, how do you do your 9? The same subtraction. 16 minus 7 will give you your 9. So that is just the code behind this very sample. I know you have gotten it. So you simply apply to the other samples given there. That is the code. It's an addition and subtraction code. Okay, let's go over to our next example. Let's go back to our next example. Alright. Okay. Here's another sample. You can see this. Let's work with this very first one. You can see 3 at the top of the triangle, 10 in the middle inside the triangle, 5 and 6 at the sides. What is the code behind these numbers? What is the code behind these numbers? So let's start from 10. Assuming 10 was not given, how can you get your 10? How can you get this 10? How was the 10 gotten? To get your 10, first of all, we'll be working with the division and multiplication code. To get your 10, what you do is, let's go over to our board. To get 10, you do 6. 6 times 5. 6 times 5 will give you 30. Then 30 divided by 3 will give you your 10. That was how 10 was gotten. Okay, assuming 5 was not given, how can you get your 5? How can you get your 5? To get your 5, let's go back to our board. To get your 5, you do 10 times 3, that is 30. Then 30 divided by 6 is worth 5. So that was how 5 was gotten. I know this code is very simple. It is very simple. Okay, what about 6? Assuming 6 was not given, how do you get your 6? It's same thing. To get 6, you do 6 times 5. To get your 6, you do 10 times 5, which is 10 times 3 rather, which is 30. Let's go over to our board. Make use of our board. Now, to get your 6, what you do is 10 times 5. That is 10 times 5 is 30. 10 times 3 rather. Alright, listen to this. 10 times 3 is worth 30. Then 30 divided by 5 will give you your 6. That was how it was gotten. And lastly, how can we get our 3? Assuming 3 was not given, how can you get your 3? To get 3, what you simply do is, to get 3, you do 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Then 30 divided by 10 is worth 3. So that is just the code. Alright. Hello kids. I know you've learned the code today. No, remember in this very example we make use of the addition and subtraction concept. In this very example we make use of the division and subtraction, division and multiplication concept. While in this Roman numeral we make use of addition and subtraction. And while in this very first example we make use of the division and multiplication concept. With this case we come to the end of the class. Attempt your quiz, do your assignments.